Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion on the upcoming lunar eclipse which is going to be taking place on November 8th or 9th basis your location in the Aries sign within Aries in the Bharani Nakshatra. So now guys, as you know that when we talk about the time of lunar eclipse, it tends to have a straight impact on our human psychology, and it also controls and governs the natural calamities as well. So because of which it becomes very important that you should be following the proper precautions and you should not be taking any sudden, any knee-jerk decision or actions at the time of the predomination of these lunar eclipses. Because guys, when we were talking about the solar eclipse which just passed, so at the time of the solar eclipse, it's the people in the power who tend to remain more governed and controlled or being in the influence of the solar eclipse. But when we talk about the lunar eclipse, it's our own psychology. We tend to remain very prone, very vulnerable towards taking wrong actions. And just because guys, during this time, first of all, no benefic planet like Jupiter specifically is not going to be aspecting the Aries sign where this eclipse is taking place. The Lord of the sign which is going to have a final say. So the Lord of Aries is the planet Mars. Mars is going to be transiting in its enemy sign. It is also in a retrograde motion. So because of which we have to take this upcoming lunar eclipse very seriously. Now guys, when I talk about the general precautions or which all people could be prone towards it, so now that's very simple. If in your natal chart your Rahu is conjunct with moon, or you are going through the dasha of, like within the Rahu Mahadasha you are currently in the moon Antardasha, or within the moon Mahadasha you are in the Rahu Antardasha, then you have to remain very careful. Second thing is that if in your lifestyle, like see guys, try to understand this thing. Because of the influence of Bharani, Venus is also coming in play, and Bharani also has got lot of inclination and curiosity given towards the physical pleasure as well. And because of the influence of Rahu over moon, so this is a ideal combination of increase in criminal activities, criminal mindset, addictions, and inclination towards stimulants. So because of which, if your chart, your kundli is already prone towards that, and over and above that, if you are kind of finding yourself restless, concerns of lack of confidence, or feeling very highly strung, and you are going to be taking any decision driven by all these impulses, then definitely it can lead towards the disaster. That is something which I want to make it very clear over here. Guys, whenever we talk about these kind of like subjects, so nothing happens stand alone. For a very big, like whether a good or a bad event to be taking place in your life, a lot of things contribute to that. So obviously, let's say for example, just because this lunar eclipse is going to be taking place in the Aries, so someone who has got a Aries Lagna and he has got a Rahu placed in the first house only. I'm actually describing my own chart, and the ascendant lord Mars is placed in the 8th house, and over and above that, if you're also going through some vulnerable dashas as well, which is currently active, and after knowing everything, even your actions, your decisions are very knee-jerk, are very sudden, very reckless, then definitely this is a typical combination of a person heading towards disaster. So that is the only reason guys, it becomes very important that you should study your chart and you should do proper remedies at least couple of days before and after of the predomination of this lunar eclipse. Now the general ritualistic advisory which is followed in Sanatan Dharma is that there is a time period which is called as the Sutak, which can be understood in a very simple language as the precautionary watch time. So if in your location this lunar eclipse is going to be visible at 6 p.m. so you have to go back 9 hours, and the precautions will start right over from that time, that just starting from the 9 hours prior of the lunar eclipse, you should not be smoking, you should not be drinking, and you should be doing chanting, mantra, and moreover for the women who are pregnant, you have to remain very cautious, very careful, that you should not be thinking and getting overwhelmed because of the negative thoughts And generally in the traditional Hindu families, we say that refrain from using any sharp edged tools at the time of the eclipses. So these are the few things, guys, which I wanted to make it very clear. I would say that because it is going to be taking place in the Aries sign, so the worship of Lord Hanuman, and in any case, if you have to control the nodes, so the worship of Lord Shiva also tend to remain very therapeutic. So if you are getting very much prone towards accidents or theft, like this is the yoga you have in your chart, obviously without any doubt, Aries Lagna people, in whose case it is going to be taking place in the first house, or the Virgo Lagna people, in whose case this eclipse is going to be influencing the matters of your 8th house, then you have to remain additionally cautious. And over and above that, even after knowing all these circumstances and cosmic contribution, if in your line of work, in your nature of work, you work in a warehouse, you work in a factory where you have to work with the sharp edge tools or weapons, then doing the remedies or following the precautions will become additionally important in your case. So guys, moon, which represents masses, which represents our collective emotions, and Rahu is the planet which is chiefly associated with the media. When we talk about space exploration, artificial intelligence, all these new age social media handles, they all come in the purview of the Rahu only. Now guys, I do not know whether you noticed this thing. Right at the time of this just happened solar eclipse, when this news came in the media that in this ongoing Russia-Ukraine crisis, one country is fearful that other country might use radioactive material or a dirty bomb on them. So if you will compare this news with the kind of global events or energies which gets generated at this upcoming lunar eclipse, is that it has got more to do with the false rumors or propagandas going wild at the time of the lunar eclipse. Because guys, you must have heard or come across all those newses where one extremist group, they circulated some false rumor in the WhatsApp group, which led to communal tension, which led to situation of curfew, and so many people got injured. So the time of lunar eclipse also makes us very vulnerable, that we have to remain very cautious and careful of not falling prey to any of the fake newses as well, because in today's day and age, Rahu has got complete control over media, and through media over our emotions, our psychology, which generally tend to remain very much prone at the time of the lunar eclipse. Guys, like yesterday only, when I uploaded this video on the weekly transit video, I made it very clear over here that if something major, big event is about to take place in your life and you have to calculate it, so whatsoever the combined cosmic celestial influence is like planning or preparing to give it to you, and the day on which it will be delivered to you, it will be completely in sync with the transit of moon on that specific day, in which zodiac sign, in which nakshatra it is going to be transiting over on that day. So that is the only reason, guys, in this upcoming lunar eclipse, following the precautions, being in a calm state of mind will become very important, specifically if you are falling prey towards some vulnerable time periods or yogas which you have in your chart. So guys, now we will shift our discussion to the customized lagna, and we will try to understand the general do's and don'ts and precautions which needs to be followed for all the rising signs. So guys, starting first with the Aries Lagna people. So now guys, in your case, it is going to be taking place right over there in your first house. So definitely health needs to be monitored. Second thing is that if in your case, your ascendant lord, either Mars or your 4th house lord, moon, is weak in your chart, then it can actually give a lot of mood swings, or in certain cases, it can also give inclination towards unethical acts, criminal acts, or too much of the lasciviousness bothering you, troubling you. So this becomes very important, the way you will be handling or channelizing this energy, specifically for all those people who are connected with the mass media. So your public image is definitely going to be in the scrutiny. So I would say that it is more advisable during this time to seek refuge in doing all those things which gives you happiness, because the tendency is going to be very strong that if you will not keep your mood elevated or uplifted, the negative things might try to take control over you. So when I say negative things, this could be the thought of lasciviousness or criminal acts, unethical acts. Now definitely a lot will be dependent on the kind of yogas you have in your chart. So just give attention towards doing the remedies in the form of the Mahamrityunjaya mantra or the recitation of either Hanuman Chalisa or Bajrang Baan will become very important. And specifically, this is a kind of a typical alignment where you have to also remain very cautious and careful around the water as well. So let's say, for example, if you're already going through some sensitive, volatile dashas as well, and you are planning to go on a water adventure sport, so a strict no to all those activities. Now guys, for all the Taurus Lagna people, so guys, in your case, this eclipse is going to be influencing the matters of your 12th house. So to begin with, it's not very advisable to undertake any travel on this day. Second thing is that when we talk about expenses, they can suddenly go very high, and there might be some misunderstanding with someone very close to you, because in your case, moon has got the rulership of your third house as well. So refrain from getting into any confrontation with people, even if you do not get along well with them. Third thing is that many Taurus Lagna people might be becoming a victim of unknown fear or those sort of paranoia kind of things. Now definitely a lot is dependent on the state and dignity of your ascendant lord and individually the strength of moon in your natal chart, but definitely this is a kind of a cautionary sign where expenses and travels needs to be very well managed and monitored for all the Taurus Lagna people. Now guys, for all the Gemini Lagna people, although guys in your case it is going to be taking place in your 11th house, which is not that threatful, but I would still say many Gemini Lagna people might be driven towards experimenting in their line of work, like in their business practices. So you might suddenly get those, I will not say this as epiphany because it is going to have a very demonic vibe attached to it. So refrain from experimenting with anything at your business financial front. Also, this is a typical combination where if you have to give your word or you have to become a witness of any of the conflicting situation within the friends as well, so refrain from becoming a part of that. So in short guys, pertaining to the matters of your 11th house, which has to do with your goals, with your strategies, with your income, with your network, so do not experiment, do not initiate anything at least a day before and after of this lunar eclipse. Now guys, for all the Cancer Lagna people, so now guys, just because your ascendant lord moon is a part of it, so now a lot will be dependent on the kind of dashas which are currently active in your case. But I would still say that this is a kind of a typical energy where a lot of energy of blame game, allegation, fake allegation. So just protect yourself. Like I would say that irrespective of the kind of dasha which is currently active in your case, leave your home after reciting at least Mahamrityunjaya mantra 11 times and Kal Bhairavashtakam for the Rahu and the basic Hanuman Chalisa. These like basic Hanuman Chalisa, I mean to say just Hanuman Chalisa. So Mahamrityunjaya mantra, Hanuman Chalisa and Kal Bhairavashtakam will definitely protect you, guard you for any of these workplace related toxicity or any of the concerns of false accusation. Second thing is that guys, when we talk about 10th house, which also tells about our efforts and our professional endeavors. So I would say that do not experiment with anything, do not try to progress through deception during this time, because you might not think like that, but this is what the influence, the toxic influence of Rahu is on the moon. So I would say that do not look forward to or resort to any unethical actions at your work front, because either if you will opt for that, it's gonna land you in trouble right now, like right at the time of the eclipse when you will be trying to do that, or in times to come. So that is the only reason guys we have the whole Shastra of the Muhurta. So Muhurat in itself means that the seeds which you sow, the seeds of the right action, when it is sown at the right time, will generate some very positive results. Same way, wrong actions, wrong seeds sown at a very evil time will only lead towards some very negative repercussion. So that is the only thing which I want to say. Do the remedies. That is the only thing which I want to advise to all the Cancer Lagna people. Now guys, for all the Leo Lagna people, so now guys, in your case, it is going to be influencing the matters of your 9th house. So your luck is getting eclipsed in a way, and because guys, in your case, moon has also got the rulership of your 12th house as well. So when we talk about travels, immigration, investments, or anything to do with the lottery, speculation and all of that, so refrain from getting entangled into all these things, because see, when we talk about the lottery or speculation, we only talk about the 5th house, but somehow it is always the luck which actually supports all these people in these fields. So leaving things in the name of luck or being negligent in your line of work will prove to be very costly to a lot many Leo Lagna people. So guys, the only one thing which I want to say over here is that a lot will be dependent on the kind of dashas which you are going through. So if you are going through a very vulnerable time, like in your case Saturn Mahadasha, and within the Saturn Mahadasha you are going through the Sun Antardasha right now, and over and above that, in your natal chart your moon is also afflicted, it is conjunct with Rahu, it is conjunct with Saturn, it is placed in 8th house, then this eclipse can actually make you very prone, very vulnerable. So the gist of this lunar eclipse for your Lagna is that do not try your luck at wrong places. So that means travels, investments, any dealing in the stock market or overseas investments needs to be done with lot of contemplation, lot of care. In terms of the mantra, I would again say the similar thing. Any of the mantra of your East Devta will prove to be very beneficial, and from this eclipse perspective, I would say that because it is going to be taking place in the Aries sign, so the worship of Lord Hanuman, Mahamrityunjaya mantra, and because the influence of Bharani Venus is also coming in, so I would say even the recitation of the Shri Suktam will prove to be very well protecting for all the Leo Lagna people. Now guys, for all the Virgo Lagna people, so now guys, in your case, as you can see that this eclipse is going to be taking place in your 8th house. Over and above that, the lord of the 8th house, Aries, like planet Mars, is going to be aspecting your Lagna, your 1st house as well. And in any case, both Mars and Moon are not a very auspicious planet for your Lagna. So that means you have to remain very cautious, very careful, like anything to do with your own road safety when you drive, or any of the concerns of surgery, like if you are planning any visit to hospital, any test and all of that. So try to remain very cautious, very careful. And like the way I have already mentioned this thing, you know, it's like even going for any adventurous sport, or because it could be threatful, or there could be some concerns on the account of some threat from the water as well. So because of which, combining everything, so guys, I have already mentioned this thing at the beginning of this video. I do not want to scare everyone or become a bearer of a bad news. It's just like that. It all will be dependent on the kind of yogas you have in your chart, and specifically which dasha you are currently going through. Now let's say, for example, with this kind of alignment in the transit, if you are already going through the Mahadasha of your like Mars, which is not auspicious planet for you, and within it the Antardasha of your ascendant lord Mercury, and over and above that this lunar eclipse, then definitely it's a confirmed case of some fear or vulnerability. So that is the only reason, guys. The only thing which I want to say over here is that even in the matters of some investments or any of the important decision of your joint resources, of your family assets as well, needs to be taken with lot of contemplation, lot of care. Recitation of Sundarakand or Hanuman Chalisa will become very important if in any way either Mars or Mercury is currently active in your dasha. Now guys, for all the Libra Lagna people, so now guys, in your case, this eclipse is going to be influencing the matters of your 7th house. So guys, as you know that 7th house, which has to do with our commercial activities, this is the house of your partner, and this is also the house of your public image as well. So I want to be very honest, very clear over here. There could be some concerns on the account of feeling worried because of the well-being or health of your partner. Also guys, when we talk about the commercial decision making, so for all those people who are in business, so refrain from taking any important big business connected decision during this time. Like specifically for all those people who are planning to sign any like merger, any acquisition, any partnership, any bond, so any agreement, so refrain from signing all of them or do that very carefully. Lastly guys, just because here we are talking about your public image as well, so a lot will be dependent on your own actions as well. Now let's say for example, you are a business person, you are a like social media influencer, and your acts, your actions in the society, in the world has always been questionable, or you are a factory owner and your products are not very productive enough. So during this time, suddenly there could be depletion of your public image, of your market value. So just try to remain very cautious, very careful of your conduct in the community, in the society. Give heightened attention towards the well-being of your partner, and if you have to take any important business connected decision, take that with lot of scrutiny. That is all what I want to say for all the Libra Lagna people. Now guys, when we talk about the Scorpio Lagna people, so now guys, in your case, just because it is going to be influencing the matters of your 6th house, and guys, because your ascendant lord, the lord of the 6th house, is also transiting in the 8th house in a retrograde motion, and moon in your case, which is a epicenter, the central element of this eclipse, has got the rulership of your 9th house, the house of your luck. So the luck is getting eclipsed in the 6th house. So that in itself is an indication that do not test or try your luck at wrong places. Like if your actions include too much of the gambling, too much of the intoxicants consumption, or your actions are very questionable in the society or community, then you can actually get entangled into some big problem. Second thing is that any of the concerns of the loans or credit dealing needs to be done with proper care during this time. And lastly guys, over here, because 6th house also tells about our work ethics as well, so try to do your job in a very prescribed way. Do not be mean to your juniors, to your subordinates. Refrain from getting entangled into any office politics. So these are the few things which I want to advise to all the Scorpio Lagna people. Guys, I want to be very honest over here. I'm a very a positive person. I always try to present my these transit results in a very positive packaging, positive light. But still, I want to be very clear over here. If in your dasha system right now, in any way, if either Mars or Mercury is right now active in your dasha and your moon is kind of weak in the natal chart, then actually the time of eclipse can give rise to lot much of the temptation towards criminal acts or lascivious thoughts of lasciviousness. So guard your energies properly and do not initiate or take any important decision where there is a lot of like credibility related issues are involved. And when we talk about the remedies guys, so the god which is chiefly connected with your ascendant is the Lord Hanuman. So I would say that the recitation of Sundarkand or Hanuman Chalisa or Bajrang Baan will become very important for all the Scorpio Lagna people. Now guys, for all the Sagittarius Lagna people, so guys, in your case, this eclipse is going to be influencing the matters of your 5th house. Second thing is that even moon in your case has got the rulership of your 8th house, which is the epicenter of this eclipse. So that in itself gives us this indication that at the time of the eclipse, a lot many Sagittarius Lagna people have to deal with, have to battle with the thoughts of some past traumatic experiences, lot of the mood swings, not being able to take the decision with proper conviction. So try to think about following certain remedies specifically connected with either the worship of the Lord Hanuman or recitation of the Mahamrityunjaya mantra will become very important. And specifically guys, if in any case any of the 5th house related attributes are getting qualified in your case. Now if you are a student, you have to focus on your grades. If you are currently pregnant, so then also you have to keep on chanting and reciting the mantras to guard your energies from any of the toxicity of this eclipse, and certain parents might also finding themselves in this state of feeling very worried on the account of the well-being of their children. So overall guys, like from the 5th house, we also look at the investment and the financial decision as well. So not a very good energy, not a very good time to take some risky decision when there is lot of uncertainty in the cosmos. So these are the few guidelines which I want to advise to all the Sagittarius Lagna people. Now guys, we cannot overlook this fact that 5th house is also the house of the mantra siddhi as well, of the sadhana as well, because 8th house which tells about sadhana, but 8th house lord is involved in your 5th house. So trust me, a very good time for actually driving your energies or controlling this upward surge of energies in doing the chanting, in focusing more on your craft rather than getting overwhelmed, and in order to compensate this inner turmoil, resorting to some negative decision, like all those people in whose case just driven by their inner emotional instability, they go on a extravagant spree on shopping of clothes, for drugs, for alcohol, or making wrong moves. So just try to take things balanced and resort to doing remedies if even in the dasha you are going through some vulnerable planetary time period. Like let's say for example, moon is currently active in the dasha, or in your case like even Venus is active in the dasha, Rahu is active in the dasha, your moon is afflicted in the natal chart, then doing the remedies will become all time important for all the Sagittarius Lagna people. Now guys, for all the Capricorn Lagna people, so now guys, in your case, this eclipse is going to be influencing the matters of your 4th house. Now in the original Kal Purush Kundli, 4th house belongs to the planet moon in itself. So guys, definitely there could be some emotional turmoil or vacillation which a lot many Capricorn Lagna people might have to face. Second thing is that guys, I would say that any of the decision connected with your mother or with the prospects of the property or real estate related decision needs to be taken with lot of contemplation, lot of care. A lot many see guys, in your case being a Capricorn Lagna means being controlled by the planet Saturn, and Saturn is also transiting right over there in your 1st house. So I would say that there could be some emotional void which a lot many Capricorn Lagna people might encounter or experience during this time, and a lot of that might have to be do with the some sort of past traumas or negative traumatic memories of the past, like in the past where if your family has not supported you or you are not settled in the life because of not being provided with the right set of resources or support from the family. So just understand the essence that it's only the impact or influence of transit or this eclipse which is instilling these thoughts in your mind. So do not get overwhelmed, do not take any sudden reckless decision connected with the matters of your family life, of property, of your mother. And I would say that take the blessings of your mother and be very much responsible, accountable, protective towards the well-being of the mother. That is the best remedy for all the Capricorn Lagna at this time. Now guys, when we talk about the Aquarius Lagna people, so now guys, in your case, this eclipse is going to be influencing the matters of your 3rd house, and in your case, moon has got the rulership of your 6th house. So 6th house lord forming this eclipse in your 3rd house in itself is this indication that first of all, like there could be some misunderstanding with any close acquaintance or friend of yours. Now this could be a person in the neighborhood, this could be a person in your friend circle, or this could be at your work front as well. So do not get overwhelmed while dealing with any of these sensitive situation. Second thing is that guys, because 3rd house also tells about our initiatives, our drive, our motivation. So a lot many Aquarius Lagna people might be going through these vacillation back and forth while initiating any important task. Third thing is that guys, 3rd house also tells about our communication as well, and these days see, no one is talking to each other directly in person. We are communicating through Twitter, through Facebook, through Instagram. So that is how we are expressing ourselves. So just refrain from not getting overwhelmed. Like you saw some political news which suddenly agitated you, and driven by that agitation, you tweeted something, you commented something, you posted something. So refrain from those impulsive actions or those kind of actions which are coming out of that overwhelming outpour of the emotions. So these are the few things which I want to advise to all the Aquarius Lagna people. And also, if you have to undertake any important short travel just a day before or after of the this lunar eclipse, so just do your preparation properly. So these are the few things which I want to advise to all the Aquarius Lagna people. Now guys, for all the Pisces Lagna people, so now guys, in your case, this eclipse is going to be taking place in your second house. That in itself is creating a lot of vulnerability in the matters of your finances. Guys, try to understand this thing. Ever since Rahu has entered your second house, so Rahu's transit in the second house, if in your natal chart, your Mars is not very well placed, so you are actually in a radar of Rahu causing some misunderstanding or creating some problem in the matters of the finances. And these eclipses tend to remain the time when Rahu and Ketu, like nodes, are in a state of strength and power. So I would say that just because in your case Moon has also got the rulership of your 5th house as well, so do not try your luck in investing in any of the Ponzi scheme, I would say, because we do not know at the time when we are investing. We get to know later on when we bear the losses. So I would say any of the important financial decision, take that very, very carefully. Like, it's a typical combination or yoga of losses in the matters of the finances which will get created at the time of the eclipse. Even in the matters of the speech, do not speak anything which can offend people. Now, many times you might have this justification that I spoke the truth, I just spoke something which came out of my heart. But do not do something which is gonna create a kind of a situation of problem with other people in your circle of influence. Lastly guys, because it's your 5th house lord as well, so I would say that specifically because second house is getting involved. So if you are in a relationship where you have to buy any gift for your partner or for the parents, suddenly your child is requesting or asking for big chunk of money for some course or some extracurricular activity, so I would say that shell out money or spend money at least couple of days after this eclipse, because there is going to be this possibility that the money spent during this time of eclipse might not go in the right direction or might not be utilized in the right way, the thought with which you put in while spending that money. So these are the few things guys which I wanted to say as a precautionary measure for this upcoming lunar eclipse for all the signs. For furthermore updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Dhanyawad.